Finally, a presidential administration that recognizes 3D printing for more than nefarious reasons. Joe Biden just spoke all about his new plan for AM Forward. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here and you love 3D printing news, make sure you get subscribed because we do talk about some big news in this industry as it happens. And this is a big one. Finally, we've had so much negative press from all of the three-letter organizations in the United States. Now we're finally getting some decent press regarding 3D printing with Joe Biden going after AM Forward on his recent visits to some of the largest additive manufacturing facilities across the United States. Joe Biden, President of the United States, had some pretty interesting remarks. Quoting, "To support the AM Forward program, the Department of Energy will make its manufacturing demonstration facility at Oak Ridge National Laboratory available to SME manufacturers to test new additive technologies. The Manufacturing Extension Partnership will provide enhanced technical assistance, and the Department of Defense will use its Mentor Protege program to reimburse the cost to the large OEM participants in AM Forward for providing technical assistance to their smaller US-based suppliers owned and controlled by socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. DoD Manufacturing Technology Program Office will work with America Makes, a DoD-sponsored manufacturing innovation institute, and AM Forward members on a pilot standardization project." This is kind of a big deal, right? For those of you that haven't really followed the news in the US government and its thoughts surrounding 3D printing, they have not been all of that positive as of late. In fact, one of the most recent talks about 3D printing in the government was all about ghost pew-pews, we'll say, and they're concerned that 3D printing people are going to do this. Look, no, we don't. We make plastic stuff. We don't make 2A stuff. I don't want to get into it. Maybe this is a video that we have to do. Let me know if you guys want to hear my thoughts and feelings regarding 2A 3D printing, and while it may be technically somewhat still kind of legal, it's also incredibly stupid. So let me know your thoughts on that. If we get enough people, maybe we'll do it. But the thing that I always do is talk about our sponsor, 3D Musketeers. If you love 3D printing and maybe you don't have access to technologies such as high detail resin 3D printing, full color sandstone, polyjet, as well as now offering LPBF, layer powder bed fusion, TI-64 titanium, pretty awesome stuff. You can reach out to the pros over at 3D Musketeers. We have over 40 years of combined experience helping people get their ideas out of their head and into their hands using awesome technology like 3D printing, CNC milling, and laser cutting. And hey, if you want to support the efforts that we do here on the channel but don't necessarily have any business for us, you can do so by supporting us over at Patreon, patreon.com/3D Musketeers. And we have tiers starting as low as $1. We greatly appreciate your support. And if you don't want to support us financially, well, you can always like and subscribe. That's totally free, and share it on your favorite social media platforms. That helps us grow, and that growth helps us be able to do more awesome videos just like this. This is good news to me. And we are not a large company, right? And a lot of you that are watching this video are probably not large in this industry either. Maybe a couple of you are. If you are, you should reach out. We're looking to get some really awesome hardcore SMEs in specific subjects to come and hang out on the podcast. Love to have you on. But we're looking at heavy hitters like GE, Honeywell, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Siemens, and so many more that are utilizing 3D printing in their everyday use cases. And the one thing that President Biden really talked about was this issue of supply chain problems that are plaguing every single industry right now. Whether you're having a hard time getting raw materials like steel or aluminum for those across the pond, or you're having problems getting silicon made, it's pretty much a all-around problem. But 3D printing can solve a lot of these. And while no, you can't 3D print your own computer chip, you can't make your own GPU with a 3D printer, because damn it, if you could, I would have done this by now. There are ways that 3D printing can reduce some of the stresses that some of these companies are dealing with when it comes to inventory control, as well as meeting demands of their clients. Sometimes those are the average American people. 3D printing can pick up where traditional manufacturing has either left off or been unable to assist for many, many years. An individual that was quoted in this is Carbon CEO Ellen Kuhlman, who says that we're at an undeniable inflection point. Bringing digital manufacturing to U.S. businesses will be a critical component to the success of the American economy, both now and in the future. The administration's acknowledgement of 3D printing to boost the economy is a solid step forward and a proof point that digital manufacturing is critical in addressing our ongoing supply chain challenges and beyond. And I could not agree more. And this is coming from a company, Carbon. For those of you that don't know, Carbon makes some of the most amazing resin-based 3D printers on the market, except you can't buy them. A lot of us know the term SaaS, software as a service. Carbon is HaaS, hardware as a service, where you rent the machines, you buy the materials for them, and it comes with software and all of that, and you're able to produce things. President Biden had a 56-minute video. We'll link to the whole thing in the description so you guys can watch it. It's a lot. But we can see that this is their attempt to not only solve the issue of supply chain, but also the rampant inflation that is hitting the United States right now. Literally, it is as highest as it's been in 40 years, both with everything happening now from the pandemic as well as Russia, Ukraine. There's a lot going on that is disrupting global supply chains, that is hurting the American economy as well as economies nationwide. And 3D printing is a great way to do this. Now, a lot of you might remember early on 2020 where we had make the mask, make the shield things, where a lot of us got together and produced thousands of PPE components on our 3D printers. And quite frankly, that was the first time where I felt really proud of this industry, because people were coming together for a continuous reason to do good. And we here at 3D Musketeers produced almost 2,000 pieces of PPE. One of the things that I think really showed not just the government, but the average American, the average person, that 3D printing has a lot of value, because traditional manufacturing has a lag time that 3D printing does not necessarily have. And he's calling this program AM Forward. For those of you that are morning people, you might be wondering why he's talking all about seizing the day, carpe diem, if you will.
Live in the moment.
No, it's additive manufacturing forward. And it's pretty great. Education has always been an issue in this industry. Whether it's someone that's calling us that needs help with something, or it's someone that's never done this before, or doesn't even know it exists, this AM Forward platform program is going to help the average US business adopt 3D printing in a significant way. And we can see that Siemens Energy says that it now aims to purchase 20 to 40% of externally sourced 3D printed parts from US partners, with Lockheed Martin and Honeywell also offering to aid research into alternatives to forging and casting, and technical assistance in areas like design, data, and machine operation, respectively. So what does that mean for the average user? Yes, you, the average user who watches the channel and is hopefully subscribed. It means, well, probably not much, honestly. It means that your parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, family members, whatever, at least 2 of them probably sent you this article. 3 of mine did, which I love that some of my family members are following this industry, or maybe because every major news media picked up this story. And I'm glad, because finally can 3D printing get some good press. We've had so much bad press, and I'm glad that we're slowly starting to get the good press that is situated around a lack of education. The White House understands that there is a lack of education in this industry. And we're going to link to all of these articles. So many companies, so many reporting facilities did articles on this. We're going to link to all of them so you guys can take a look at it. But there is so much value that 3D printing can provide. But if people don't understand it, if they don't get what the technology is and how it can assist them, then there's no way that they're going to adopt it. Right? If I don't understand why this car is better than this car, why would I buy car A? If I don't know why car A is better than car B, not Cardi B, car B, why would I buy car A? And for the vast majority of the general public, they don't know. According to the Washington Times, the 3D printing market is expected to more than double over the next decade. It was valued at $1.3 billion in 2020, but could rise to $2.9 billion by 2030, according to data from Transparency Market Research. Now, I think their number's a little bit low, but we can see that 3D printing has value, and because a lot of organizations and companies have decided that the same old is where they're going to stay, the adaptation of 3D printing has slowed quite a bit. But now as we're seeing materials like LPBF, layer powder bed fusion, which is a metal style of 3D printing, come down in price so much that you can get smaller machines for less than $500,000, it is bringing this quality and technology into machine shops worldwide. $500,000 on a CNC machine is not that big of a deal. It's not cheap by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not that big of a deal. You look at large CNC machines from companies like Haas, DMG Mori, Herco, and some of the other brands out there. You can easily spec a machine out to $500,000 and not even break a sweat doing it. And if you can take something like a 5-axis machine that's going to only produce a little tiny part and put it into a metal 3D printer that's going to get you really high accuracy and reasonably affordable price because, oh yeah, there's minimal waste involved in this process, that might be a better move for your manufacturing business. And, well, we're seeing that to be a thing. We can see that GE is using 3D technology to manufacture fuel nozzles for airplanes. And don't worry, that's not just the only thing that they're manufacturing with 3D. You look at basically every rocket company on the market right now, whether it's SpaceX, Relativity Space, Terran Space, Blue Origin, they're all 3D printing something involving their rockets. And a lot of them are printing Inconel or high-strength metals for their engines, because there are just things that you cannot do with traditional manufacturing. But the 5 companies that we're seeing being heavily involved in this project are GE Aviation, Honeywell, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, and Siemens. And these are some good companies, but you're looking at some of the big 5 when we're talking about government contractors as well. So I don't know if there's going to be a lot of trickle-down effect to the average small business like ours here at 3DM, but I do think we're going to start seeing a lot better education out there, and I'm excited for that because, well, that means we can reduce our sales cycle, and that means we can be reaching a much broader audience, especially here on the YouTube channel. So, hey, if you're brand new to the industry, appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for that. And I like that under the agreement that the companies are pledging to buy 3D printed parts from US-based suppliers, right? This isn't just about solving the supply chain. It's also about bringing manufacturing back home to the United States. That has been a big deal the past few years. Obviously, with the Trump presidency, we had a lot of bring it back home. And yeah, quite a bit of that is still echoed today in the Biden presidency, much the argument of the two sides. And look, if you want to argue that, argue it in the comments. That's great for the video. I love those kind of comments. I'm going to tell you all not to be dicks to each other, but hey, it's good for engagement, and the algorithm likes that. Let's go for it. I'm fine with that. And hi, big 3D printer companies. We can help you here at 3D Musketeers. And yes, while we're not Velo 3D or some of the other massive companies that do it, we're still pretty cool. I mean, I think I'm pretty cool, so that must mean it's true, right? Yes. We've helped with this quite a bit with a number of our customers to alleviate their issues in the supply chain problems. A great example is the food packaging industry that needs samples quickly. Their clients want to make decisions very, very fast because even a couple of days of extra lead time means that they're going to miss a big marketing opportunity for their product or for their restaurant. We have enabled food packaging companies to meet or exceed those deadlines set by their customers without having to give excuses as to why things are taking so damn long, or a supply chain excuse, which is the go-to excuse these days when one of your suppliers just doesn't do their job. And that enables them to continue their business instead of waiting for an overseas company to put something on a plane, then for it likely to get lost somewhere, because that's just the way shipping goes these days, and so many other potential problems. It can be made locally, right here in your backyard. And if you are a company that's looking to have this done, hit us up. Links are in the description. The White House expands that AM Forward will help lower costs for American families by improving the competitiveness of America's small and medium-sized manufacturers, creating and sustaining high-paying manufacturing jobs, and improving supply chain resilience through adoption of additive manufacturing. I absolutely agree. We've had this ideology that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I am, generally speaking, about that life. And while I do drive a 20-year-old Honda that ain't broke, so I ain't fixing it, there is obviously quite a bit of technology that has changed in the past 20 years when it comes to automobiles. Hell, we have cars that drive themselves. They cost a lot of money, but we got cars that drive themselves, and that's kind of crazy. And now people are looking at that as a legitimate thing that they want in their life. Lane keep assist, as much as some of us kind of hate that. Or autopilot from Tesla that keeps your car in the lane and can basically drive for you. Kind of ridiculous. Those are things that I would love to have. I don't even have an aux input on my car, right? We've had a lot of increases of technology. And yes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but at least keep an eye on what's coming out. And that's what we're seeing here. And a lot of these manufacturing companies have adopted the, look, this 40-year-old machine still works great, produces parts to a thou. It's awesome. But if a 3D printer can do it faster, more affordably, and with less staff, then your profit margins just went up. And if your waste goes down, you have less handling costs for that stuff as well. Sounds like a win-win-win-win to me. According to 3D Printing Media Network, AM Forward builds on key administration goals: more resilient and innovative supply chains by investing in small, medium-sized companies. Hi, I'm one of those. Invest in me. Growing industries of the future, overcoming coordination challenges that limit adoption of new technologies like additive manufacturing. Please. Both inventing and making more in America through investments in regional manufacturing ecosystems. Each of these goals is also advanced by the Bipartisan Innovation Act, which establishes a supply chain office at the Department of Commerce, supports foundational technology such as additive manufacturing, and invests in regional tech hubs, as well as increasing funds for Manufacturing USA institutes and the Manufacturing Extension Partnership. Yeah, this is all things that I like to see as a small business. Now, hilariously, this could cause some problems to 3D Musketeers, right? There's gonna be a lot more competition, but I say bring it. I'm totally fine with more competition in this industry. We're either going to live or die by the sword of business. It is what it is, one way or the other. But what I don't like is when we get ignored, right? The additive manufacturing community is strong. There's so much going on, but a lot of it is kept under lock and key because, well, it's a patented technology. It's under a patent from an inventor. Whatever it might be, there's normally a few lines of paper that state you can't talk about this. It's actually why you don't see us talking a lot about the work that we do for our clients all that much, because a lot of it's protected. But that doesn't mean the work that is being done is insignificant. I believe there's so much value here, and I bet you guys do too. I'd love to know your thoughts about this down below. Do you think this is just some thinly veiled government statement bullshit that's not going to amount to anything? Or do you honestly believe that this is one of the steps in the right direction for the additive manufacturing industry? I'd love to know your comments down below, and if you think that this is actually going to continue, should we see a switch in the powers that be here in the United States in the coming primary elections. But that's all I got for you guys today. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. Have a good one. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video, and a massive thank you goes out to all of our Patreon and YouTube channel member supporters whose names are scrolling right next to me at the $5 tier and higher. And it's the first couple of weeks of the month, which is the best time to start supporting your favorite creators over on Patreon, because it charges you the first of the month. So you always want to start supporting them as early on as possible in the month. And if you want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/3dmusketeers, and the $5 tier and higher gets your name listed right next to me. Right below me is going to be our news series, where we talk about other big news topics that have come up in the 3D printing industry. And right next to that is going to be the build video of the 3D printed speaker, which is a project that was way better than it had ever any intention of being. I think you'll enjoy it. But I'll see you guys down in those comments and in the next one. Take care.